Yo, what's going on? It's Luke Mann. And before we crack into this little back and forth, I just want to introduce my good friend and fellow guitarist, Bryce Vanhoosen. He is absolutely an amazing guitar player. Check out his Instagram, check out his YouTube channel, and especially his band, Silver Talon, which just released a new album called Decadence and Decay. Super amazing album. And if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into having some good back and forth conversation with a fellow guitarist, you're going to especially enjoy this video because we're going to be debating whether or not you should learn some new techniques as well as, other things that just happen to come up when you're a couple guitarists catching up. So, hope you enjoy. Check out his channel. Talk soon.
Maybe interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So,
Sick.
because last night I was kicking it with. I love your glasses, by the way. You have these sickest.
Oh, these are like I got these. They're like $5 on Amazon for the blue light. So I sit at a computer all day, so
Yeah.
it's starting to fuck with my eyes. So I figure might try to protect those so I
Yeah,
don't go blind.
It's a decent.
But thank you.
What do you mainly work on in front of the computer?
So for the day job, doing project management for a web design company, which is kind of what's been getting me through the pandemic, right?
Sick, dude.
And then after that, it feels like I kind of segue to doing music and band stuff in front of the computer for like the latter half of the day.
Yeah.
So a lot of time on the old internet.
I've been noticing that I've also been going blind. So I think I should invest in some of those, or perhaps just rock the Ray-Bans, whatever.
Oh yeah, dude, I've done that too. It actually does help if you can keep some of the UV kind of shit out of your peripheral. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Sick. So you were on last night with Alex from Holy Grail and Conan from Ex Mortis on their little YouTube channel that they're getting going.
Yeah, so they're doing a Twitch thing.
Oh, they're doing Twitch. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, dude, it was totally sick. It was the first time I'd used Twitch, so I was kind of tripping out on the whole thing. But it's cool. It's almost like if a live stream video platform was also like an MMORPG video game.
Okay.
Because you can literally take your whole audience and raid another live stream.
Yeah. Okay. I've watched people do like live streams and stuff on YouTube where they're also live streaming on Twitch, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna raid this other Twitch person. I don't know what you call him. Twitch streamer, Twitcher. I don't know. So I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, dude, it was pretty cool. Your name came up. They're like, oh man, that guy is so handsome. We got to have him on our stream as well. But yeah, dude, because you guys all went on the road together back in the day, right?
Fuck yeah, 2016. It seems like yesterday, and also kind of like eons ago, another lifetime, if you will.
Yeah, dude, I remember the other lifetime too, because I was like, it might have been when I was like trying to get in the shows. I was underage. I was like, man, I can't.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember. Yeah, and I think I don't think I knew that at the time. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go in and I'm going to set up or do whatever I got to do. And then you're like, yeah, I took off. I can't get in. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, dude. That was
a bummer.
That was funny, man. Yeah, because I think, that was the first time we met. And it's like, all right, this is so sick. And then Bouncer shut it down.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that spot was it's a weird spot.
Oh, the slide bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I know the guy who owns it. He used to play in Lit. Do you remember that song that goes bam 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 bam?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like his bar. A bunch of great. It's like one of the only metal venues in Fullerton, or like a venue that will have metal acts. Like I've seen Witch Haven there, you guys, and Ex Mortis a bunch of times. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I hope that they keep it going for sure.
seriously,
Um, yeah, that place is still there.
it is. As
That
far as I
okay.
know, I haven't honestly. I haven't popped out of my house since the pandemic.
Shit, yeah. Yeah, man, it's definitely it's been weird. Like all of I don't know if this is how it is in Southern California, but like all the venues in Portland pretty much kind of like shut down through this
Really,
whole sort of thing, except for like the bigger ones. We have like the Roseland, which is like one of the bigger venues for like touring bands and stuff like that. One of the bigger clubs, still technically a club. Or we have like the Hawthorne, which is slightly smaller. But like all the kind of smaller sort of DIY places,
yeah.
they're gone. I don't even know what's out there anymore.
Damn, dude, that's hectic.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, I mean, that's actually a good transition because you have a new album that just dropped, or at least I think the whole thing's out, right? Is there
Yeah.
anything? It's an EP, yeah?
No, it's full length.
It's full
Full
length.
length
So then,
album.
what was Decadence in Decay? That's what it is?
Yeah, yeah, that's the full length.
So was it like 7 tracks or like
It's 8.
8 tracks? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, because I just checked it out and dude, man, the Silver Beast, the Return of the Silver Beast.
Oh yeah, yeah. Divine Fury.
Yeah, dude, that track rips so hard, man.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys are like this amazing combination of, you got Wyatt, who sounds so good, and obviously, I assume is pretty influenced by Alice in Chains. I'm just
Yeah,
assuming.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He is. Yes.
But then you guys were throwing the King Diamond stuff on as well. There was a couple screams he's doing in various tracks where I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah. No, he's got a whole kind of gamut of influences where it's you got like Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, and then World Dane from Nevermore Sanctuary, of course. Also like Halford and a bunch of other dudes that are super uh, more obscure that I'm not super familiar with, but he's super into.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I hear some Jeff Tate as well.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Queensryche is like always a big. It's always just like a massive influence. Like even in Spellcaster, it's like Queensryche has kind of been the one sort of consistent for all of us. So that's the one that we all kind of get down on.
I mean, dude, what if there's a band for everyone to get down on? Like, yeah, that's probably the one, dude.
For sure.
Yeah, my girlfriend is nodding in agreement.
Good. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and she listens to mostly pop. So I mean, case in point, right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking A. There you go. Yeah. Queensryche, just such good songwriting. You know what I'm saying? It's like still kind of proggy, but like the songs
Isn't
they're
that
masterfully crafted.
well put, man? That is kind of to me the whole mystique and like the what's most attractive about Queensryche is just like when they lay down a groove, it's so progressive. Like even if it's a song as poppy as Jet City Woman, it's like where the snare is placed and
Yeah.
is just so exciting, And the fact that after I've listened to these songs for years and years, I still don't know like, is it there? Is it there? Like, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Right. Yeah. That's for me, like that's kind of the coolest thing about some of the more like proggy stuff, I guess, that's out there, is the fact that as you listen to the songs more and more, it's like more aspects of it are sort of like revealed to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you listen to it once and you get kind of you get the hooks basically. But as those hooks sort of start reeling you in, you start noticing all these different kind of things about it where it's like, oh, okay, the snare's in sort of a weird place, or like, maybe it'll be like a little fill or something. And these are just kind of like things that you can sort of identify and sort of pick up on, the more familiar you become with it, which keeps things interesting, you know?
Totally, totally. When yeah, it makes a snack. It turns a snack into a meal, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great analogy.
Yeah, when you have a song that's like it's so good and you can instantly like resonate with a good catchy chorus, but at the same time there are those subtleties that you can just kind of like you know can continue to feed off of for years, or like can turn a different card for years. And yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
one thing that like stoked me out about the album was the acoustics interlude, where you guys were
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. Thank you.
something like flamenco-y or like
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I was listening to a lot of like Al Di Meola when I
no way.
wrote that. Yeah. So shit, what is that song? Mediterranean Sunrise, I think. The one that he does with I think it's John McLaughlin and Paco de Lucia. Yeah. Oh man. That's or no, that one was the Paco de Lucia, but then he did a full album, I think, with John McLaughlin and Paco de Lucia that they have like the video
Yeah, the
from
live.
where you could see like the classic Al Di Meola sort of like picking hands in
Yeah.
like all of its glory.
And then like Paco is like freaking doing all picado, and yeah,
I don't even know what that means, but it's awesome.
I think it's the word flamenco. They have like Spanish names for all the techniques, and so like
Okay.
using your two fingers as if you were playing bass is
Right.
called picado, to my knowledge. I'm
Gotcha.
pretty sure. Yeah,
Cool.
there's some cool flamenco tech. Maybe we'll talk later about flamenco.
Yeah. Well, I'm like a total yeah, even though that has that kind of like Al Di Meola sort of like flamenco inspired kind of thing, I'm a total like hack. I like I can barely play with my fingers. So I'm just all picking it, doing all that kind of
Oh,
stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just like give me some cool chords and maybe I'll make a cool lead over it. I don't know. Just sort of it just happens.
it was sick. It was sick. Again, reminiscent of
Thank you.
maybe some Black Horsemen, you know, or like
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
or you know, of course, Yngwie Malmsteen,
Yeah.
for Black Star,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, it was cool to see that, to have that change in there. It was super refreshing. Um, and then tell
Thanks,
me more about like the three guitar thing, because there's like plenty of guitar solos. How are you guys dividing them up? Like,
man.
are you guys all doing a solo in one song, or?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and like some of them will do multiple guitar solos in a single song. So yeah, I mean it's mostly just kind of like a it's kind of nice because you just can kind of take like 8 bars, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, here you go, 8 bars. We're gonna have a key change or something in the middle of this section, and then somebody else is gonna take over. So you know, you do your 8 bars, you do whatever, and then somebody else kind of does another thing, and it can either keep going back and forth between that, or you know, we're on to something else. So it's kind of almost like, I think of it sort of as like I don't know, like if you ever listen to like some of the old like Wu-Tang stuff where they have like just a shitload of different rappers and stuff that are going to be on a single song, right? And they're just kind of like, they're just sort of splitting it up in kind of like weird ways where it's like, you know, here's the part where like Method Man is going to have his little bit. Then we're going to go into like, you know, ODB or whatever, and then into the chorus, and then right into like Ghostface and all that kind of stuff. So I just sort of think of it as like just a little bit. Everybody gets a little bit, nothing too long. So, and I think that keeps it kind of interesting.
Now, do you think of each guitar solo, each lead as a different rapper, and do you even nickname these solos with the rapper's respectively?
Yes, to maybe the first one, but no, we haven't done the naming or anything like that.
Dude,
so
I didn't know you were
cool.
so versed in rap, dude. That's
I really am not. I just know like a handful of different like rap and hip hop artists, and that's about that. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, what you said though, I feel like there can be a lot of pressure especially like, dude, writing music in general, right? It's hard sometimes. The pieces that don't fall into the place, and then the ones
Hmm.
that have to be like muscled out. You're like, okay, so there's 24 bars. I gotta come up with something epic and brilliant for.
Oh, dude. Yeah. It's so stressful. It's so stressful. Yeah. I just kind of recently did like some stuff on like a with like a synthwave project
Yeah.
called Death Ripper 6669. But basically, it's just like laying out a long ass like guitar solo over the entire fucking song, right?
Wow.
And I only did like a couple of these songs, but like they took me forever just because I'm like trying to make it as good and interesting as I possibly can, without necessarily knowing like, is this gonna be good? It's like, it's always like that second guessing sort of thing.
Yeah. How do you manage like how do you manage being comfortable in your own guitar playing skin? You know, when you know that like Michael Romeo exists, and it's like,
I don't know, man. I wish I had an answer for that.
yeah,
Um, I guess like lately I've just been more I've been trying to get just like more comfortable, I guess, with my own limitations. You know what I mean? Where like,
okay.
you
I
kind
don't
of
know which limitations you're talking about, but okay,
oh dude,
sure,
there's lots
sure.
there. Where it's like, I'll never be like I'll probably never be as like clean as like somebody like Jason Richardson or something like that, or be able to sound like exactly like that kind of just level of like precision. You know what I'm saying?
That's very clean.
Yeah, and maybe my phrasing will never be up to like a Brandon Ellis kind of level. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe like, my bends won't be as good as, I mean, I guess we could say Brandon Ellis also at the
Again,
at the same time. So it's just kind of like doing the best with what you have, I guess. Whereas like, it's not a competition. You can kind of just be you and do your thing. And if objectively it's not as good as somebody else, like fucking who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, it's rock and roll. So
yeah.
and it's like, with you were saying you're like studying jazz and stuff like that. Like that shit is like mind blowing to me, where I'm like, I don't even know where to start. If we sat down and played jazz, you would play circles around me. I'm sure of it. So
Oh, yeah, dude. That seems to be the general consensus with not only guitar players, but maybe like people in general. I think there is a huge number of very proficient guitarists. Technically, we know that one scale. You know, we play it in
mhm.
every key, but we
Yeah.
know. Sorry, or those three scales.
Yeah,
Let's be
those three
honest.
scales. Yeah.
It's natural minor, harmonic minor, and pentatonic, right?
There you
And
go.
and so like, and then we play diminished arpeggios, right? So like, there's an infinite amount of guitarists that are doing that and are like extremely proficient, like could parrot all the things that are played in jazz. But the thing is, like, yeah, the theory behind it is just
Mhm.
is ridiculous. And I've literally been studying this stuff with a mentor for like for a year and a half, and I
Oh
feel like
shit.
I literally have nothing to show for it. Like,
Really? Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. And someone they were like, man, it's hard to like jazz. Someone said that on the stream last night, and I'm I couldn't agree more. I feel like I'm convincing myself that I like this stuff while I'm listening to it. I'm like still trying to tell myself that I'm into it when these are my roots, dude.
Yeah. Damn, man. Yeah, and that's kind of the other thing with like, I guess being okay with your limitations is also maybe knowing that like not everything that's out there is like something that's going to be appealing to you, right?
Sure.
Like I mean we could talk about like artists are sort of like the music that's in the vein of like Polyphia or something like that, kind of the more
Yeah.
like genty sort of stuff, which I readily admit is like very technically proficient.
Super sick.
It's awesome. Um, but as far as like actually speaking to me in a way where I would be like, I have to learn that lick, like it doesn't do that really. So it's like I can't
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to sit down and like try to learn these licks or whatever and try to like apply them because it's not that interesting to me. I mean, I admit it's like technically awesome, but does
Yeah.
does it speak to my soul? Maybe not so much.
Not as much as, like Miles of Machines or like
Yeah,
Shouting
exactly.
fire at a funeral. Yeah.
Yeah, which is yeah, that and that's sort of in the realm of stuff that I'm like a lot more kind of like comfortable with playing, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Uh and plus it just kind of speaks to me a little bit more.
Totally, dude.
So
Yeah, it's really interesting with the Polyphia thing because I agree they are such technicians. Them, Chon. I remember when Animals as Leaders came out too, and I was
mhm.
already kind of set in my ways even then. And it's funny because I think a big part of that is like ego. Ego is like at the forefront of my mind when I'm having that battle. Is like
Sure.
because deep down, or not even not deep these days. I mean, I know I can't play that technique, and so that pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
that's
mean, you could probably learn it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's just like, do you want to dedicate the? Is it going to be something that's going to be beneficial enough for you to dedicate the amount of hours to master it? Right? Like, are you going to be writing songs that like greatly feature like that kind of like the Tosin Abasi like thumping sort of like bass playing technique?
so
Like,
sick.
it's awesome, but are you personally are you going to be able to think of like a bunch of different ways to like revolutionize your playing with it like he does, you know what I'm saying? Or is it just going to be one of those things that's like, look what I can fucking do?
Dude. Okay, this is such a good conversation because I have this talk with myself internally all the time, and what we've come up with in here, is that dude, every technique we've gotten under our belt because at one point we saw something that was dope, and now we don't even think about it when it comes to writing because it's like a part of our style, And so
Hmm.
if I took the time to internalize some of that thumping stuff, especially the like
Yeah.
like it's so sick. Yeah, eventually that would work its way into my style, and like you start writing things when you're comfortable as hell with the technique. That's what I've learned from my experience at least. Is just that, like, for instance, I was straight alternate picker
Hmm.
all the time, and I really forced myself to get the economy picking thing down, and
Okay.
it's been a long road, dude. And for a long time, anytime I would start to try the technique, it would completely throw off any alternate picking that I had together. So it was like really discouraging. But eventually, I found out you have to ride all the way through it. So I was only getting into economy picking enough to get discouraged, but like once I got it as fast as the alternate picking stuff, now I'm economy picking all the time, and I would write solos or write songs now with the economy pick. So I know it can be done. You can adapt
Hmm.
new techniques into your style and use them comfortably. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
but like you said, I mean, it's whether or not you want to. I mean, does that style speak to you or does it not? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man, that's funny. I'm like the exact opposite, where I pretty much just started doing economy picking,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, I've tried to incorporate more of the alternate picking sort of stuff into my repertoire to varying degrees of success, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
The economy stuff's just way easier, and it's like once I flip that switch in my brain where I'm like, I am going to play fast now, it just kind of comes out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like instinct at this point. So
Well, that's
um,
nice.
yeah, it's interesting. You have to get it to that point where it's like where you're not thinking about it. You can just sort of internalize it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably like what you're exactly what you're talking about with like economy picking, right?
Yeah, dude. So, um, I'll play some examples, man. I don't care. What I've learned is that with the economy picking thing, you just have to. It has to be aggressive. And again, this is only with my experience because I'd always done alternate picking. But I always heard economy picking is kind of like a smooth sound. But it wasn't until I felt like I was really ripping, and I could do the technique with just my right hand alone, and I'm just like wailing, like I'm really trying to,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to hear that string noise over my amp, and like not until I kind of got that together did the technique like start to get more comfortable. But
Yeah, that makes total sense because if you're not like exaggerating those sort of like picking movements,
yeah,
it totally doesn't have the right sound. You know what I mean? It sounds like a little bit too, almost like sloppy, if you will, where things just kind of like almost like a drummer or something who's maybe like hitting once really hard and then like kind of
yeah,
half-assing it, and then hitting hard again and then half-assing it, that sort of thing.
yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
Big part of musical maturity is the consistency.
yeah,
So if you hear those like them even, that's what I really like about the economy picking is because alternate picking. Let's say I play the same run, 6 tuplets. It's economy picking has this underlying rhythm every time, which I think is really cool because it'll be fairly even if I alternate pick and I just. But economy picking has the underlying.
yeah. There you go.
And
Yeah.
like I dig that. What I've been using it to success with is to go circle back to Michael Romeo here is he does 5-note groupings and and 7-note groupings.
Yeah.
So have you ever messed around with this stuff?
A little bit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have done some 5 and 7 note groupings, and they're weird.
Yeah. So
they're super weird.
To me, the hardest part was always which pick stroke you start on for the next phrase, right? Because you can play 1-7, but what about the next 7? And so what I found was that it was really hard because you'd start the first 5 on a downstroke and the next 5 on an upstroke.
Right. Okay.
But you probably didn't even mess with that because
no,
because you were economy picking, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. So it for me, I think like the weirdest part just felt like the not necessarily the picking part of it. It was more just like the placement of like where the beats are landing in the sequence, right?
Yeah,
because it's not like a you're not doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, or even like a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, or even like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something else,
So what one of the clients that I work with, he was looking on some drum forums that said for 5 you can just count very difficult. For 7s you can count very, very difficult.
Interesting. Okay.
But it helps a lot. What I've learned is that the open string is the hardest part to do, to come up with like. But it sounds heavy as hell. And
okay. So what are you doing there? You're doing like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, if I pop out a metronome, so I can only get it so far. One of my clients is playing it faster than I am, which I'm super stoked on.
I gotta try this myself.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, and something. Yeah. So I think it's nice to start at 75 BPM around here. So it's like very difficult, very difficult, very difficult, very difficult, very difficult. And I have to say, doing it with an open string is so much harder than it is to do with fretted notes.
So are you doing it like a would it be like down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down? Do you double up on that down, or are you just like emphasizing that last upstroke?
I'm emphasizing the
or sorry,
But
the first upstroke.
right, exactly. The first upstroke, exactly. So it's like down, down, up, 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 down, up. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
All right, man. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good little exercise to try.
Yeah, totally, man. What I envision is like, well, it's actually this Michael Romeo DVD where he's talking about it, and he's like, he basically says, this is cool. This stuff is cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's the young guitar one, right?
Yeah,
the Japanese one. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that stuff's cool. God damn, yeah. Like, yeah, fuck you, man.
It's like, it's cool, but I always thought it was cooler. He's talking in his East Coast accent. I thought it was cooler, man, to come up with some five,
odd note groupings.
Yeah, and so that's what I've been working on. I'm working on this pattern. So we're used to like the sextuplets, right? You're just cruising down your 3-note per string scale, or even right. You're totally familiar with these patterns, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm going just down the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then starting on that 13th fret of the B string. I'll start the next grouping. So.
Okay, so you're like going up 1 and then back down.
Yeah, and then down. So yeah, dude, what kind of axe you got right there?
Oh, this is my Jackson Juggernaut.
Dude, that thing is sick.
Yeah, man.
Jackson's super good to you guys, huh? They're really cool, huh?
Yeah, they're cool to work with. Good solid company.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Cohen was telling me how much sweethearts they are, and I saw your new axe, the Mall Crackle.
Oh yeah. Let me grab that one too.
Dude, that thing's a sexy beast.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
It's all gross and smudged with like sweat because it's been like 100 fucking degrees here.
Good. Let's rock and roll.
There you go.
Dude, that thing's beautiful. So you put EMGs in it?
I did, yeah, and I for some reason, because of the Crackle paint job, they have to do basically like multiple coats of paint on it, right? So you got to do the undercoat, then you got to do the overcoat, and then you got to shellac all that with like some clear on top of it. So it adds quite a bit of girth. So yeah, I had to take it in and get the cavities for the pickups routed to be larger for the EMGs.
No way.
It was like a 1/16 of an inch, like a little bit, or maybe even less than a 1/16 of an inch, like too small. So
you took like a Dremel tool to it, or what did you?
Well,
do?
okay, so I started by taking a Dremel tool to it, and I was just like holding it like white knuckle in this cavity route, just like, oh, don't fuck up, and then I fucked up a couple times, and I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna take it down to we got a place in Portland called Eastside Guitar Repair, super awesome shop. They work on Paul Gilbert's guitars, so it's good. Yeah, and dude over there, his name is Ryan, just routed it out and slapped these guys in. So
beautiful, man. So what are you digging about the EMGs?
I think mostly probably just like consistency of sound is sort of the number one thing that I'm into. And I think that it just kind of has like a more like ballsy sort of in your face kind of sound versus like passive pickups. Okay. Everything just seems a little bit more even. It's like a little bit more kind of there's a little bit of compression coming from the guitar itself before it hits your amp, right? But it's like the right amount of compression.
Okay.
So
Cool.
it's not like, you're plugging into a compressor and turning everything up. It just kind of makes everything just sort of pop a little bit more. Especially with like economy picking, where I'm, trying to make everything sound sort of like even and that sort of thing.
Totally.
It kind of helps with that. So I feel like with passive pickups in the high and the low end, I sort of get like it's like a little bit sharp sounding, I guess. So you can sometimes get those really kind of like high highs,
Yeah.
and then in the bass you also kind of can get a little bit of that kind of like clicky sort of thing. But with the EMGs, once you find the right pickup that kind of agrees with you, it just sort of just sits better. I don't know. This is like all very very like typical guitar guy. Like I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about kind of lingo here, but
Yeah.
I think you sort of get the gist.
Dude, it's funny because, yeah, in saying so, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. But one time I tried EMGs. One of my favorite guitarists, he plays in this band called Just Kill. He totally rips. His name's Gyro Lejo.
Sick.
But yeah, he's like had some of the coolest, like cleanest playing I've seen, and I noticed he was using EMGs. The thing that trips me out about them is I like the difference between this and this, and that,
Yeah.
I don't know if that response there as well, or is that kind of what you're eliminating by using the
A little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of like that feel that is, if you like that about passive pickups, it would probably annoy you with
sure.
active pickups. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a give and take, kind of what you're going for, I guess. But the cool thing about EMG is they've been doing a lot more in like the passive pickup range, which seems like a lot of people don't even know that they actually make passive pickups. But they did the EMG Revelation set, which it's a signature set from Prashant Aswani, I think is his name. He's like a Charvel artist.
Okay.
And dude, these are like the fucking coolest pickups I've ever heard.
Really?
Especially for like leads and stuff like that. Like on our album, all of the leads that Devin does, which unless you're super familiar, that probably means nothing to you. Hard to discern who's playing what, I know, but
because you guys are all playing EMG pickups.
right, yeah. But yeah, he's the only one playing the passive one, so
okay.
his sound, like, I don't know, man, just sits so good in the mix. It's crazy.
Really?
Like yeah. So yeah, if you're not into the whole active thing, I would say check those out because they're awesome.
Well, that is cool. Do you know what kind is Richie Faulkner using? Does he use active or those are passive?
Yeah, he uses active. He uses the 5766 set,
Okay.
which is like it's like a bigger kind of sound of an EMG pickup. Like, I don't know. You've probably like used the 81 in the past, which is like very just kind of like tight, like laser focus sort of. It's like I describe it kind of as like using a scalpel, It's like so accurate. And then the 57 is like much bigger, right? It's kind of more like a instead of using a scalpel for your guitar tone, it's like using a sledgehammer. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that analogy, and I would like that tone probably more.
Yeah. It's yeah. I use those a lot too. I got a bunch of those the 5766 set. And then this set is cool. So I get them to send me a custom set, which is basically a James Hetfield in the bridge, and then I get the 66 in the neck. But this 66 is it's like a push pull, so you do like the coil splitting, which is not really coil splitting. It literally just has two pickups in this pickup
Oh, really?
housing or pickup body or whatever.
It's just
So
pickup switching.
yeah, exactly. So it's like you have one pickup, single coil, another pickup, humbucker. Which one do
Oh,
you want to use?
dude, that technology is pretty cool, man.
It's nuts. Yeah, so they just came out with these like a couple years ago, and yeah, I have it just set to like be a single coil on this one,
Okay,
and then pull it up, and you get the humbucker. So
that's
yeah,
sick. Really cool.
yeah,
It's like an active single coil.
yes, yep.
Wow. See, the thing that tripped me out is this year I got like my first Stratocaster that I enjoy playing because
Oh yeah.
I too was using a Dremel tool. I was making enough room to to install a Floyd Rose trim
Oh shit.
a stock like it's a Squire body with a Mexico neck and
Sweet.
so this yeah Fender gave it to a college nearby for the music department and somehow it ended up being the show guitar at an NAMM show, so this guy gave it an epic finish.
Oh
And
cool.
yeah, and then it ended up in my hands, and I was like, dude, this thing is so sick, except there's no flaw. So yeah, that's when I think I hit you up, right? I was like, dude, I'm trying to put a nut on this traditional.
Oh okay.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, we did it. We routed it out, and so anyway, I was
Hell
finally
yeah.
comfortable with a Strat. It's like it ticked all the boxes. The only difference is for the first time I was playing with single coils,
Oh
and
yeah.
so that was crazy, man. And it was weird for a long time. But when I went back to humbuckers, it was the first time I realized, when you're recording and your level is too high, clips a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like through my amp. And that's when I realized,
Huh.
oh, dude, these pickups have too much output
Oh, there you
because
go.
when you get used to like playing with such low output and you hear so much dynamic, so much of your playing coming through,
Hmm.
it's like it's weird when you hear like all that power. It sounds like it's peaking for some reason to me. So
Interesting.
it might
Okay.
be a cool experiment for you to go back and forth, maybe. But I mean, obviously, you dig the EMG thing for a reason, and just rely.
Yeah. Well, those ones that I was actually telling you about that Devin was using on the record, they're they are like a medium output humbucker. So
Like
they're not.
14K, like around there, or
I don't. I'm not smart enough to know the exact
okay.
resistance specs and that sort of thing.
What are they called?
They're called the
Aswani, you said that dude.
yeah, the Revelation set, the EMG Rev set.
You're an EMG artist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you should be.
I don't know if they give you the
Oh yeah, it's 13.8.
oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Damn,
13.
dude, you're right on the money with that.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It was a lucky guess. And I think the bridge is 13.8. It says I'm guessing the neck is 13.5. I see two numbers. I'm just kind of guessing
Oh,
the neck.
it's actually backward.
Oh
Bridge is
really?
13.5.
Oh wow.
A little bit less, and the neck is a little bit more.
Maybe they can. No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually the other way around. But cool, man. That's sick. So you really dig those, and you feel like it sits well in the recording scenario.
Yeah. In fact, I'm gonna have to get some of those so I can give give that a shot. Just going back and forth between the active and the passives.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so what's it like when you got three guitarists in a rehearsal room? Do you guys all riff heavy the whole time? How do you set the levels? How do you manage the levels? Like, Like, what do you guys do? Are you doing harmony solos? I didn't hear that many harmony solos on the record.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, if you enjoyed this little back and forth, you can see the rest of it on Bryce's channel. It's super sick, and if you're just super hyped by the idea of getting better at the guitar right now, and you want to also learn to play your favorite songs in solos, or develop a technique, or get faster, or better your playing, then you can actually click the link below, which will take you to an application page where you can book the date and time to speak with me personally. All right, I'm going to be taking a look at your situation and kind of helping you to figure out a step-by-step plan to get you from where you're at right now, where guitar is maybe a little bit daunting, these techniques are not coming together, to the other side where you can play this stuff with great conviction, with great fluidity. All right, so I'll talk to you very, very soon. Peace.